Emily Carson had just turned 40 when the silence in her small suburban home began to feel louder than ever. Her house sat at the end of Willow Creek Lane, a place that once echoed with laughter, music, and the sounds of family dinners. But now, since her divorce 2 years ago, it was just her and the rhythmic ticking of the wall clock. Emily worked as an online consultant, helping small businesses manage their social media. It paid the bills and kept her busy, but the quiet often pressed down on her like an invisible weight. It was a chilly Thursday morning in early March when the power went out. She had been in the middle of a virtual meeting when her laptop screen went dark, the hum of the heater faded, and the house slipped into silence. She sighed, looking out the window at the gray sky that promised rain. At first, she assumed it was just a neighborhood outage, but when she peeked outside, the houses across the street were glowing with light. Perfect, she muttered, wrapping her cardigan tighter. She checked the breaker box in the garage. Everything seemed fine. A little frustrated, she searched online on her phone for a nearby electrician and found Miller Electric, reliable local service. The reviews were glowing. She called the number, and within minutes, a friendly voice answered. "This is Ryan from Miller Electric. How can I help you today?" Emily explained the issue, her voice slightly apologetic for calling so suddenly. Ryan assured her that he could come by in about an hour. "No problem at all, ma'am. I'll take a look and get your power back on." True to his word, a little over an hour later, a white van pulled up outside her driveway. Ryan stepped out, tall and in his mid-30s, with short brown hair and a clean blue uniform. His calm and respectful tone immediately eased Emily's nerves. "Good afternoon, ma'am. I'm Ryan. Let's see what we can do for your power today." She led him inside, explaining how everything had gone dark suddenly. Ryan listened carefully, occasionally nodding as he checked switches and wiring. Emily noticed how he worked methodically, keeping his tools neatly organized and taking his time to ensure everything was safe. For the next half hour, she watched him work in the garage, tracing wires, checking fuses, and humming softly to himself. She offered him a glass of water, and he smiled. "Thank you, that'd be great." When the lights finally flickered back on, Emily couldn't help but let out a laugh of relief. "You did it. I thought I was going to be sitting in the dark all day." Ryan grinned. "Just a loose connection near the main breaker. Happens sometimes, especially in older houses." Something about his calm confidence made Emily feel unexpectedly reassured. They ended up chatting for a few minutes longer about home repairs, local restaurants, and the unpredictable weather. It felt nice, just easy conversation with someone kind. After he packed up, Emily thanked him and paid for the service. Before leaving, Ryan turned back and said, "If it ever happens again, don't hesitate to call. Or even if you just need advice over the phone, happy to help." That simple offer lingered with her long after he left. The next week, Emily's life settled back into routine. She worked, walked her dog Max in the evenings, and spent her weekends reorganizing the house. But one rainy afternoon, as thunder rolled across the sky, she noticed the lights flicker again. Her heart skipped, then steadied when they stayed on. She thought of Ryan, not because she needed help, but because she remembered his kindness. Later that evening, she baked cookies, something she hadn't done in years, and found herself setting aside a small plate. She almost laughed at herself when she thought, "What am I doing?" Still, she wrapped them up and left them near the window, where she could see the rain pour down in silver sheets. The next morning, her phone buzzed with a text from an unknown number. "Hi, this is Ryan, the electrician from last week. Just checking if everything's been running smoothly." Emily smiled. She typed back, "Everything's perfect now, thank you for fixing it. I might owe you cookies for saving my workday." He replied with a laugh emoji. "Cookies sound like a fair trade. I'll take that as my official payment next time." Over the next few weeks, their friendly messages continued. They never crossed any lines. It was just small updates, little check-ins about the weather, or a funny meme about home repairs. It made Emily's days a bit brighter. Then, one afternoon, she noticed her porch light flickering again. It wasn't urgent, but she decided to call him anyway. Ryan showed up that evening, raincoat dripping from the drizzle outside. "Your house likes to keep me on my toes," he joked. Emily laughed, stepping aside to let him in. As he checked the light fixture, she made tea for them both. They talked about life, how Ryan had moved to the area a few years ago to start his own business, and how Emily had been trying to rediscover herself after her divorce. "You'd be surprised how many houses I visit where people tell me their lights go out just when life feels dim," Ryan said softly, tightening a screw. "I think homes have a way of reflecting us sometimes." Emily looked at him thoughtfully. "Maybe you're right. This house felt empty for so long. Maybe it just needed some light back." When he finished, he packed up his tools and walked toward the door. The air between them carried an easy warmth, comfortable, unspoken understanding. A few days later, Emily received a handwritten thank you note in the mail. Inside was a small magnet with the Miller Electric logo and a line written in neat handwriting, "For when the lights flicker again, don't wait too long to call." She placed the magnet on her refrigerator, smiling. Months passed, and Emily began to notice changes, not just in her home but in herself. She repainted the walls, added plants near the window, started baking again, and even began volunteering at the local library. The once empty house now felt alive with color and laughter. One spring evening, as she hosted a small neighborhood gathering, the porch light glowed steady and bright. Ryan happened to pass by in his van, waved, and smiled. Emily waved back, her heart feeling lighter than it had in years. That night, she wrote in her journal, "Sometimes the people who fix things don't just repair wires, they help you see light again." Years later, Emily would still remember that day the power went out, not as a disruption, but as the start of something new.